that sort of stuff. Is that us, Andrew? It's Destination Newry. 'Tis the morning programme, Good Morning Newry and Morning the World. We're with you in Manhattan and we're with you in Maybridge and Mullabon. So, and delighted to welcome Peter Murray, of the General Manager of the Buttercrane Centre in Newry. How's life at the Buttercrane?
Very good, Rowan.
You're
Thank
going
you,
well.
and welcome. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here.
And it's nice to get out of the office and have a look around Newry.
Yep.
On a fine spring morning, it has to be said.
Indeed, it's
pleasant.
improving.
Yeah.
The rain that's coming in is a kind of misty precipitation more than any angry downpour.
Yeah. Not the stuff we had this past few weeks.
Last few
We've
weeks.
had enough of that. Yeah.
Well, we owe you thanks to begin with, and but for you, we wouldn't have had the last of the cherry trees before Christmas. You made your point. You said, "Leave the trees for Santa Claus."
Yeah. Well, we weren't alone in shouting that.
Well, you were the first.
Justifiably so. Yeah, and you did help us in your channel here.
We
and
did.
Put that message across the world, which was wonderful.
We held on to the trees.
Yeah.
We all went down. We had 100 Newry people and we each hugged a tree. Did we do that? No, but we metaphorically did it.
Yeah,
and that was very important. One of the things about see, these were the trees along the canal side. Fernenst is a good local word.
It is. Yeah.
Fernenst the Buttercrane and Fernenst the Canal Court and all of that. And one of the things that we felt, it's nice to be getting the new public realm scheme, the beautiful promenade alongside the canal, but it's a terrible pity to be losing the trees. And on the mouth of Christmas, we wanted a wee bit of colour. We didn't want JCBs at Christmas. And
right.
you shouted and you got it. You got it. It's nice to see. It's coming on quickly, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The works are substantial works, as you say, £2.5 million worth being invested, which will look really well. And I suppose we're just in that period at the minute where it's in between. It's neither one thing nor another, but progress is rapid.
It is.
And all good. They'll be finished by June. So in time for the wonderful summer we're going to have.
Well, I'm going to be outside your place. I'll have gone over to Marxie's, as they say. I'm going to Marxie's today. We're going over there, get myself some champagne and some canapes, and I put my table out there and my chair, and I'll sit down, and I'll have a summer's afternoon with some music there quietly outside your front door.
That sounds wonderful.
It's a good thing to do. More and more
Not to
people
be a party
will be doing
giver,
that.
but do you need a license for consuming alcohol in public and such events, or have you got special
that's
dispensation?
only for shoddy fellows. respectable people can't get drunk in public. No, you can't. It's a jest.
I'll have to bear that in mind.
Oh, indeed. But the thing about the good sense with the public realm scheme, the promenade, they've built in the capacity for it to take electrical points. Looking forward to the day when we'll be able to have boats there.
Yeah.
People coming and going.
Yeah.
And well done to the Newry and Portadown branch of the Inland Waterways Association. They made the representations and got that done.
It's wonderful maybe to actually see the canal and to see the water.
Yeah, absolutely.
That for far too long, I suppose, Newry PLC has turned us back.
It has.
And hidden the water away.
Hidden it away.
And I don't think there's a full appreciation of the wonderful assets that are there, the two waterways going through the middle of a city.
Yeah.
Other places would give their right and left arm for such a thing, but we maybe now are appreciating that, and I think it'll be wonderful in due course. And if boats to manage to
be great. Well, we
navigate the thing.
Drop in an arrow boat here and there along the length, and people will be able to recreate on them and take it easy. And maybe there'll come a time when maybe they will live on board them, and Newry will become alive like Athlone in that sense.
Yeah.
So all kinds of things. And also it's wonderful what the Newry Maritime Association is doing. They have all this lovely public realm sculpture happening. They're decorating your front door for you, sir.
Yeah.
They're great.
But in recognising our forefathers that have gone before, the men who worked and learned a living and maybe give their lives in actual fact, certainly give their working lives and maybe their actual lives.
I described you as an affable Tyronian.
Yes.
Do you know that but for Tyrone, there would be no Newry Canal?
Right. Tell me more.
Because the Newry Canal was opened in 1742 to take coal from the mines in Coal Island.
Ah, yes, of course.
To Newry for onward shipping to Dublin.
Yeah.
And that was great. I wasn't particularly concerned, Peter, about the loss of the trees because I would be an arboreal fellow, and I would have seen in those trees over the years, they were quite rotten. A lot of them were rotten.
Yes.
They'd seen better days. I don't think they were ever intelligently managed or husbanded. But now they're gone. The new trees are going in, and they're strong, and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
it's progress, but I think emotively they were very significant for a lot of Newry people.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they looked really well twice during the year.
Twice,
One
yeah.
whenever they were in blossom in the springtime, and then whenever the Christmas lights went on them. So I think there's some debate over whether the Christmas lights, whether the new trees will be strong enough to sustain Christmas lights this year. But if we have to go without them this year for the better good in the long term, well then that's
But
perhaps
I think,
acceptable.
this is the other thing. This is the other bit of mismanagement. The Christmas lights were put on with strong cable ties. And no one came along in March, April, May, August, and loosened it up a wee bit.
Yeah, no.
Whereas the trees actually grew into the cable ties. And that wasn't doing the tree much good either.
No.
But I think, it's easy enough to get the Christmas. It'd be fairly straightforward to get a kind of proper post in location to fasten the lights to.
Yes.
That could be done without great.
And maybe whenever the new realm opens and the lights go on, maybe they stay on for the whole year rather than wouldn't it be nice in a nice September night whenever people are strolling along there?
Strolling along.
From one end of the canal, one end of Newry to the other really, and go off and drop into some of the coffee shops or the hotel and really make a feature of that part of the town.
Just walking along with my arm gently holding her beautiful waist and saying, "My darling, don't the lights of the Albert Basin look so beautiful? How are you, my darling?" I'm very romantic, that.
You are.
I am. Oh, I am. Big
And
time.
last week was Valentine's Day, but it's obviously stayed with you.
I wrote a poem for Valentine's Day.
Oh, very good.
And I sent it out to all the people. No, I didn't. I'm telling a lie. I published Shelley's poem, Love's Philosophy, for all the people.
Yeah.
Nobody sends me cards anymore.
You
got a card?
I did get one, yeah.
Nobody. Andrew, did you get a card? Andrew didn't get a card. I didn't get a card. It's terrible.
I think we should stick with the cards. These emails and
no, I don't want
e-cards
emails.
are fine, but at times like that, invest a little in a card and a stamp.
I invested in my communication empire. I invested £900 in a most magnificent writing desk, a small mahogany desk, reproduction from McCabe's out the road. And I engaged, and I went to the pen shop in Dublin. Why don't you have a pen shop in the Buttercrane?
Well, I suppose Easton's would sell a limited range of pens, but they're not a specialist.
No.
But
there's a place in Dublin I go.
They would do a lot of people fine, but obviously a man of fantastic words like yourself maybe requires something of more standing.
What I love, where do I tell you what I love? And the pen shop does it just off the green. Fernance, the university in the middle of Dublin, where the Book of Kells.
Yes, indeed.
And you can buy in the pen shop ink, black ink in beautiful bottles that you put on your desk. It's like a special crystal decanter for ink.
Excellent,
and you can have pens that we had at school.
Yes.
With nibs you put on, a different nib. So you write with one nib. You have a dozen of these pens. They only cost €2 each. So you have a dozen of them, and you write the body of your script with the small nib, and then the calligraphy comes into play when you go to sign it, you see.
Yes.
And you can then buy red sealing wax to do the whole thing. It's very, very charming and lovely.
I must say,
is.
It's good to see that tradition being maintained. And well done, you.
Well, I like doing it. It gives me a feeling, because special people who have helped me in Africa, people who I like, people like yourself, I was writing to you.
Yeah.
I would be writing you. I'd be taking an hour to do the letter, and I'd be taking my time and I'd be doing it right and all of that. How did we get into this?
I don't know, but it's a thing to be cherished.
It
certainly
is,
going forward, and it's very much a dying art.
I heard a fellow, one of my colleagues in here, said one day when I was writing a letter, he said, "Do people still write letters?"
Yeah.
I couldn't believe he was saying this.
Yeah.
This is an entire generation is not going to know about letters,
No.
you know.
And my writing's awful. I don't write a scribble.
Okay,
you know.
but that's the
At
nature.
times I can't
Life
read
is-
my own handwriting, never mind anybody
Peter,
else.
life has made us that way, hasn't it? It really,
Yeah.
really has.
But you're right, the old fountain pen does slow you down and does give you a better,
Yeah.
a
Gives you a wee bit
more
of-
time
yeah.
to think and a better quality product all round.
This is maybe why I like the butter crane, because you're the first
Yeah.
in Newry. How long after the first did you arrive?
Well, I was there
At the beginning?
From the beginning. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And in the beginning, what was that?
In the beginning, the Genesis.
Yes.
The Genesis of the keys.
Yeah.
In the beginning was Peter.
Yeah.
And Peter was the beginning.
Yeah.
And from a garden in Tyrone, he ascended high in the sky, ricocheted off the ionosphere, and landed in the butter crane. But what drew your attention to it at the
In a
beginning?
manner of speaking. Well, I was in the business beforehand.
Where were you before?
I was, prior to coming to Newry, I was in a shopping centre in Antrim.
Yeah.
And before that, I had come out of the retail industry,
Yes.
which was really my first
Yeah.
job after university. I was with Anderson Macaulay, another
Oh, yes.
institution
Ah, yes.
that is long gone, unfortunately. And there may well be a place for it now if it was still around, but it didn't last the course of time. So Newry butter crane was new and exciting. Newry already had a reputation as a very strong trading town, and it was getting a sparkling new shopping centre in those days. And the opportunity was there, and I came down, and didn't know how long I was going to stay for, but hey, here we are.
Many years later.
25 years
My
later,
goodness.
Rowan, believe it or not. Yeah, it's an absolute lifetime.
But that's great.
Little did I think, huh?
But it's great, Peter.
Yeah,
It's
it
great.
is good. And the thing
To
is,
have that sort of Newry-
developed and evolved over the course of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And your thumbprint is on it over the years.
Well, yeah,
you guided it through and all of that. You go in there and there's a warm feeling. It's nice and people greet, people sit down. A place for coffee and conversation in a sense.
Yeah.
The same as the keys down the road from you. You complement each other very, very
Yeah,
well.
well, the two sit cheek by jowl for sure, and no one shops one without shopping the other
you
because
you drift from one to the other.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
it's nice,
yeah.
you know.
And you're quite right. There is an environment or an atmosphere about the place that is welcoming. A lot of it brought about by the people of Newry themselves. You know, who whenever I welcome guests or some people are doing business for us, they can never get over the warm welcome that they do get from locals. You know, never surpasses me all the time. Whether young or old, I think Newry country people have that hospitality,
It's almost
that
very
warm
genuine
welcome.
too.
It is absolutely
there's
genuine.
No two ways about it.
Yeah.
What about trading at the moment? Are they coming still across the border?
Yes, we're still getting business from across the border. It's not what it was back in the day, but you know we're still panning out. Around about 12-15% of our business comes naturally from part of our natural hinterland, suppose, into Carlingford, O'Meath. Anyhow, that's only down the road.
Yeah.
And if there was no border, you know, a lot of people would automatically drift to Newry. So that's coming. We've seen a little bit of an increase in that at the back end of last year and continuing into the early part of this year, whenever the exchange rate has softened a little bit in favour of our colleagues from the south. And long may that continue.
The thing about it, and I think it's important to remember, success in the butter crane or success in the keys doesn't come by itself. You've got to be watching the trends, following the trends.
Yeah.
If you see somebody moving away or losing interest, you're moving and you have the next strand coming in. It's a constancy of awareness.
Retail is ever evolving. You know, it never stops evolving. Like, whenever we opened first, we didn't have any phone shops. You know, now we have four of the things.
phone
You know,
shops,
mobile phones were only just becoming into habit. So you're quite right. It is forever evolving. Yes, we've got a few challenges at the minute in terms of voids we need to fill.
Oh, have you?
We
There's
do.
some
We
there,
do. Yeah. But in time, we will fix those.
Yeah.
You know, we're in a bit of a transitional period
Yeah.
at the minute. Business is tough, you know. Online shopping is a big thing. More and more people go to that, and you can't blame
20
people.
years' time, there might be no butter crane, might be no keys.
I think
The evolution might take us to there.
I think they will certainly still be there.
I need the companionship of going in and talking to people.
Yeah, no, it's a progression of the high street, really.
Yep.
And the high street will still be around. May have to reinvent itself a little bit. a bit less retail, some other uses, whether they're leisure. We're an ageing population very much, you know, and you're aging very well.
But going to live longer.
We are, but
someone said to me the other day, 70, which I am, is the new 50.
Yeah.
And I feel that.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to put up with me in the coffee shop for a very long time.
That's fine, but you know, I think we will also have to evolve and cater for the more aging population.
We
will have a new set of requirements,
Yeah.
whether it's health related or care related. Yeah.
Elbow, shoulders.
For sure, you'll need loosened up and manicured and sent off again.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I look forward to all of this. Peter, I can't. Could you have been? There was a man in Newry long ago, and when I was first married, we shopped with him, and he was called Slim Murray, and Slim was a huge man.
Yeah.
And Slim had a grocery shop down on Kilmurray Street, and there he was working when you went in, and you got the biscuits out of a tin. And the sugar was in brown bags that he cut with using the bacon slicer. Could the man who became the general manager of the butter crane, could that man ever have been a corner shop proprietor?
Quite possibly, yeah, quite possibly. Whenever you think, you know, going back to those experiences with good old Slim, that was the way it was done in the day. Could you ever have seen it where all the goods were on the shelves for you to help yourself to go along to the fridges and pick it out as you do in modern day supermarkets?
Absolutely.
Then if you look at it, could you ever have foreseen a situation in a managed shopping centre where you have a row of shops with a roof over the top of them that is weatherproof, that you know is neat and clean and tidy, and someone pays to do that, and there's no extra charge for that? And then you go on to the modern day and say, well, you know, you don't have to leave the comfort of your own sofa at night time to be able to shop online, and whenever shops are open all hours. So those are three huge changes, and I think we all are dropped into this little earth for a period of time, and you opportunities present themselves and you avail of those. So if it had been a generation back, it would have been a different me doing something different. A generation going forward, like our own kids, Lord knows what they'll be doing or what their kids will be doing. Yeah.
Cometh the hour, cometh the man.
Cometh the hour, cometh the man.
Carpe diem. Let's go forward.
Exactly.
How are we fixed for time? We're heading towards the end of the program now. It's all very jolly, and I'm very good. You have a big thing coming up soon, but it's an interface between young people and jobs and that's coming. That's the Coin project.
That's right.
We have very little time just to mention it, but we'll be doing it in the future.
Just in passing, it's funded by Newry and Mourne Labour and Education Forum with a chunk of cash from the Education Board and the local area learning community. So it's very much a combination of industry and education coming together. So as each very important sector understands the other's requirements or the other's capabilities, and it's really an opportunity to Coin as a modern day web-based tool where local people, real people in real jobs are recorded, their thoughts on how they got there, on the high points and the low points of their work, recorded for posterity and for easy access by the young people before they make those crucial career choices at 12, 14, 16, 18, whatever age they're making them at, that they at least are a little bit informed.
Dare I suggest to you, you ought to interview me for Coin, because when young people are suicidal almost at the time of bad exam results, I'm able to tell them that I was headhunted to be the senior lecturer of postgraduate newspaper journalism at the University of Ulster without ever having graduated in anything in my life. And that's an extraordinary enough thing. That eases people's minds, because there are many tributaries to the great river of employment.
Absolutely,
and we have found that out.
And it's very seldom the path is straight. There is deviations and splits and wrong directions taken, and you just that is what it's about, to try and give that information to young people, that everybody will find their niche.
And if the dinosaur had had the wisdom to get out of the way of the asteroid, we would be farming dinosaurs today. Peter Murray, thank you. Stay with me till we bid the people farewell.
Thank you.
That was Peter Murray, the General Manager of the Butter Crane. That's me, done for today. Back tomorrow, inshallah. God willing, back with you. Rowan Hand, back at 7:30 in the morning. And I keep reminding you what our friends across the Great River now.